Hello guys, this is a review of the movie A Million Little Pieces. It stars the following. The movie is by Sam Taylor Johnson, and it's an adaptation of a best-selling novel by James Frey. It's supposed to be an autobiography, but there's a little bit of drama which we'll get to later on in the review. This movie follows the story of 23-year-old James. He is an addict and his brother is taking him to rehab after a very heavy night of partying. By the way, this deals with a lot of adult situations, scenarios, and everything, so viewers' discretion is advised. Spoilers ahead like usual. So he goes into rehab and he meets this huge bowl of different personalities, different people from different walks of life, all in there for the same goal, to hopefully come out of there and resume their lives in a more healthy way. And that's basically in a nutshell what the movie's about, and it's about his struggles there. While there he meets I know that I'm kind of like saying like, oh, it's gonna be over now. No, I tend to do this with reviews, sorry. I go back and forth. He meets a girl who he takes a liking to. They both like each other, it appears, and he's trying to get over. Am I even holding it right? I usually hold it like this, but the right way is like this. He's trying to get over a bad breakup that, I don't know, the filmmaker insinuates that, well, I mean, it's kind of obvious that it's because of his dependency, drug dependency and alcoholism. But regardless of that, he falls for this girl, and they have very free-spirited personalities. She's outspoken, she's kind of wild, and he's more reserved, but he obviously has, like, you know, that party animal inside him as well. But this isn't about who's going to do drugs first. It's more about really, are you willing to open yourself up? By the way, this center is, I believe, a Catholic rehab center, and they're not allowed, guys are not allowed to talk to girls and vice versa. You could only say hello, and they let him know that. So you could imagine how difficult it is for him to even initiate conversation with her, or anything like that. And it I remember watching this movie. I picked it out from Target just because I found the cover to be so amazing, and then I read the description in the back, and I was like, wow, like, this seems like a motivational movie, but at the same time a very real depiction of the dark side of life. And that's what I wanted, and that's why I got it. And when I watched it, I felt like it delivered 100%. Then I went on to read reviews that said otherwise, said it was kind of stale, it was not good, and I didn't really go too much into detail about what they said, but I really don't agree with it. I was drawn into the story from the beginning. It wasn't amazing, like, I've never seen anything like it, but it's one of those movies that are pretty serious, pretty straightforward, and it's just basically a retelling of real life events. As far as we know, the movie, after he befriends a whole bunch of people, and it's obviously very difficult being there, and he goes to get his teeth fixed, and they can't apply anesthesia because it's against the rules while he's in the rehab center. He goes through a lot of different and very difficult things, and in the very end, well, near the end, the girl that he likes receives a call or something that her grandmother, who is the person that she loves the most in the world, is very sick, so she wants to go meet her, but at the same time she tells him, and he's like, well, let's go, I'll go with you, don't worry. But she's like, no, she would have wanted me to stay here and I'll do it for her. But then they catch them together and she just goes, and he tells the people in authority there, I know where to find her, let's go get her. And they're like, that's not how this works. So he gets really mad. He's like, then I don't want to be here. But then they end up catching up to him and saying, okay, let's go, let's do this. So they go and find her, and she's in a very compromising position, to say the least. Is very, very sad. But he manages to help her back before anything really bad happens. And the sad thing is, things seem to be going well for both of them, but she commits suicide. And then he comes out, and this is how it really ends. His brother goes to pick him up, right? And he tells him, I know of a very good place where we could eat. And he goes to a bar and orders his gigantic drink, stares at it for a while, and then just leaves it and goes to play pool with his brother, which is amazing. It was nice. I would have preferred that they rode off into the sunset. That's like, I want every movie to be like that, honestly. It wasn't bad, but it kind of gave me I guess the director did a very good job with this, because it does give you a feeling of uncertainty, like, is it really over? Because he walks back, right? He leaves the drink, and it's like the camera's focusing on the drink, and past the drink, because it's kind of transparent, we could see what's playing out with his brother and everything. And there's a typical, like, I like to call them bar songs out there playing in the background, you know, they sound like that. And it kind of gives you like this feeling, like I said, of I'm not certain if it's really over, but at the same time you see him go, so you could only take it day by day, as they always say. And the acting was great, everything was great, but here's where this one comes in. So it's based on, like I said, an autobiography of the same name, which received a lot of controversy in its time of release, because they found out that the author was not really 100% honest with the things that he said in the novel, and the things that he claimed as true were not completely true. Some were exaggerated and or made up. I don't know the exact ones, but he was on Oprah, and I think she made his book of the month or something like that. She had something like that going on. Older audiences definitely know what I'm talking about, even like teenagers, but I'm just not that informed because I never really watched the show. But I do know of the impact that it had and how huge it was during its time. The thing is that all of this went on, right? And South Park made a parody, and we will discuss that too. In the episode, which one was it? Let me find it really quick. A Million Little Fibers. You know, I'm a South Park fan. I have a bunch of these, and I'll probably review them later on. Not in this one, obviously. But like I said earlier, I bought this not knowing beforehand about the relation between the two of them. And I watched this one before a long time ago. It's about Towley. I don't know if you're familiar with Towley. Is this little towel that likes to get high. He's like, a million little fibers. I remember like Googling this to see like what I did a quick Wikipedia search. I don't remember exactly how, but I saw a picture of Towley and I was like, a million little fibers, like a million little pieces, and then it all connected. I feel like Jimmy Neutron or something, just having like this cosmic thunderstorm in my head. And this episode with Towley is about him. He's trying to recover. He's trying to sell his autobiography about his hardships in life, but they don't want to publish a novel about a towel, so he just tweaked a few things, and he got a lot of recognition. You could see Oprah's right there with him, and it basically follows the real aftermath of the launch of the novel and all the drama and everything. They depict Oprah as this, well, I can't really get into detail because I don't want to spoil this one. If you haven't watched it, watch it. If you've already watched it, then you know what I'm talking about. They really, as they say nowadays, they did her dirty. And yeah, it was a really funny episode, which ended on the note that well, I'm not exactly sure if this ended on a good note. Well, no, it did. At the very end of this one, after Tally goes through everything that the author went in real life, obviously in an exaggerated way, I assume, he ends up like, okay, first I'm gonna get a little high before I get my life together. He's like, no, you know what? I'm not gonna do it, because every time I say I'm gonna get my life together and get my act together, I should say, I end up getting high and then I don't do anything. So that's how this episode ends, and it's really funny. Like I said, I was surprised when I did a bit of research, and I watched very brief clips of the interview that Oprah did to James, and it was pretty accurate. But yeah, I went so off topic. I just found it to be so interesting. Like, if you haven't watched the episode or the movie, I really recommend it. And like, watch this one first so that you could enjoy this one, because having watched this one, if I would have associated it with this one, then I wouldn't have enjoyed this one. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing that I didn't really link them together so that I could enjoy this one and then go back to this one and laugh. But all jokes aside, this is a nice film. It's heavy, obviously, but it's real. And real, you know, a lot of people do go through these things, even if the author didn't go through them word for word himself. But it's still motivational, I would say. And my rating would be 7 out of 10 in its category. Maybe a little higher, maybe 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, thank you for watching.